Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome into the Bucknuts Morning Five here on Friday, July 10th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by author Steve Helwagen. That is right, author Steve Helwagen. Now, this is not his maiden voyage. He wrote a book after the Buckeyes won the 2002 National Championship, and Steve has just written another book on the 2014 National Champion Ohio State Buckeyes. Steve, first of all, congratulations, and second of all, tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, yeah, 12 years between books, Dave. Let's hope it doesn't take 12 years till the next one. But basically,
exactly.
The one I did previously was primarily about that Fiesta Bowl game, just how amazing that game was. This book was a little bit different. This really chronicled the whole season, and in some senses all the way back to the end of the Jim Tressel era, where everything kind of started to go haywire with Ohio State football and how Urban Meyer came in, and they put it all back together very quickly, and 12-0 the first year. They were a game away from the national championship game in 2013, and then somehow, despite all the obstacles that were placed in their way, they went all the way and won the national championship in 2014, and just an amazing story. I've got I did a lot of separate interviews from this and spent basically 3 months with my head down writing about this. I've got 35 chapters and 100,000 words, and just so many great anecdotes and different things to share out of this amazing, remarkable season. And I think people are really going to enjoy this. The selling point that I think about is, there were a lot of books that came out in the weeks after the Oregon game and the national championship, but most of those were picture books. And really, we have some pictures in the book from Gary Housedew and Terry Gilliam and Sonny Brockway, but to me, no one's been this in-depth, I feel, with covering the championship season.
Steve, tell the listeners how they can buy the book.
Definitely. We've got a page on Bucknuts.com right now. You can type in Undisputed Champions maybe as a search and find it, and you can buy it right online via eBay, or we have a P.O. Box 34, Pataskala, Ohio, 43062. Just send us $22.95 for each book that you'd like to P.O. Box 34, Pataskala, Ohio, 43062. Checks out the Steve Helwagen, and we will send you a copy of this book. We had one man, you talked about gifts. A guy from Powell apparently purchased 20 books on the first day we had it available. So that was kind of a nice thing. I assume he's going to give them out to aunts and uncles and everybody. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about it. I just want to throw in probably one of the neatest stories that came out of this, and there were so many that I want to throw in, is the touchdown pass that Evan Spencer had in the Alabama game. If you go back and watch the end of that first half, Ohio State's got those three guys on the sideline that are always signaling in the plays, and they pan in on Cardale Jones, and he is squinting at the guy making the call like, what? You want Evan Spencer to throw the ball is probably going through his mind, and it was so chaotic. They were out of formation, and they had to call timeout, and they came to the sideline, and Evan says to Zach Smith, his position coach, you really want me to throw the ball here? And he's like, yes. Either you throw it away or you throw it for a touchdown, one or the other. And so the timeout ends, they headed out on the field, he turns around, Zach Smith said, you want me to throw the football? That's what you're telling me. He's like, yes. Either you throw it away or you throw it for a touchdown. He said to himself, I'm going to set my feet. I'm going to throw this ball. We all know whoever the most accurate quarterback is in the history of the NFL, they don't have anything on Evan Spencer. He put that ball where only Michael Thomas could get it. He went up and climbed the ladder and got it. Critical touchdown, 21-20 at halftime. They trailed and really got him back in the game. So that to me is just one of the many kind of funny stories that kind of came out of this season. And, Cardale and JT and all this other stuff, the quarterback situation, all that really interesting.
Absolutely, Steve. I mean, let's say you were writing a fiction book for some reason, and you were writing about a college football team. and you wrote about the team that was down to its third-string quarterback, and you lost to what turned out to be a 6-6, 7-6, including the bowl game Virginia Tech team, and they go into the college football playoff, the first ever college football playoff, and they're underdogs. In fact, they're even underdogs going into their Big Ten championship game. They win that game 59-0. Then they go and they play the king of college football in the South, Alabama. They're underdogs in that game. They win that game and really manhandle the team. And then they go in the national championship game as underdogs. Again, touchdown underdogs, win that game by 22, dominate that game. I mean, you would be laughed at by sports fans. I mean, no one would take it seriously if you were writing a fictional book saying, like, people would say, this would never happen in sports. And yet, thankfully, you're writing a nonfiction book, and thankfully for all Buckeye fans, it did happen. But seriously, you couldn't write the script any better than what happened with the Buckeyes, and if you did, people wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, very improbable. I mean, Wisconsin, Gordon had a 400-yard game in there somewhere, and the Buckeyes held them scoreless. First time ever in a conference championship game that a team was held scoreless. And then Alabama, the biggest brand name in the sport, 3 championships in 5 years, and had the best regular season of anybody in the country. And after the first half, after the first quarter, Ohio State dominated them. And they were up like 315 to 120 in yardage at halftime in that game. And then Oregon, this great offense held them to 20 points, 2 touchdowns. They were averaging 50-some points a game. It scored 59 against Florida State. Just slammed the door on them, like they slammed their head in a car door or something there. Just didn't give them anything. And so a remarkable run, I think, in all respects for Ohio State.
And once again, you can buy Steve's book for just $22.95, and that includes the shipping and handling. The book is $19.95 plus $3 for shipping and handling. So it's everything included. There's no hidden cost. $22.95 for the book. So get the book, buy the book. I guarantee you're going to love this book. Steve is meticulous. He's well researched. He's been a Buckeye his whole life. This is a book that I know you're going to love.
Michigan stinks.
All right, Steve, moving on to what's been, the topic of conversation, basically since the early mornings of January 13th. As soon as they win the national championship game, people are already asking, who's going to be the quarterback next year? And it continues to rage on. Braxton Miller came out. He said he was going to make an announcement, and he was true to his word, came out and said he's definitely coming back and putting to rest any rumors about that he might transfer. To me, that was not a surprise. In fact, I think everybody in Buckeye Nation assumed that's what he was going to do. What I found interesting was he called himself, quote, the best athlete in college football. I like that confidence, and I think that's one of the reasons Braxton's been so good. He is very confident, and he is at least one of the best athletes in college football. I don't know if he's the best. I haven't scouted every athlete in college football, but just give me your thoughts on the whole Braxton situation, Steve. What did you make of what came out yesterday? Just give us your take on that.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I had any inside information or anything, but I did have a source who's very close to Braxton, has been with him since his high school days, and he told me a week or two ago that he would have been just utterly shocked if Braxton were to go somewhere else and play his final year of college football, and he really had that opportunity. I suppose he could have gone to Houston and played for Tom Herman, of all places, or, gone anywhere.
Yep.
And so, all these things were out there, and he basically decided, this is my home, this is where I'm from, this is where I want to be, and he's pushed all of his chips to the middle of the table and says, I'm going after this job. So it's going to be great, preseason camp, and people ask me, well, who's going to start? And I'm like, just give me the guy who's going to beat Virginia Tech. I want that guy to have the most number of snaps in that game and go from there. I mean, I don't know if JT is going to get all that much of an opportunity with those 2 upperclassmen, Cardale and Braxton, in front of him. But, man, JT was number 5 in the Heisman voting this past year. So I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to go. I don't even know if Urban Meyer has any idea. But there was some scuttlebutt. They're going to come up with some sets to have 2 of those guys on the field together at times. As Urban Meyer has pointed out, the devil in that detail is that Dontre Wilson or Jalen Marshall or Noah Brown or somebody has to come off the field to make that happen. So, you kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul there, but just think about how dynamic they could be if Cardale takes a snap and flips it to Braxton on, one of those jet sweeps or something, and then he pulls up and throws it, back across the formation or something. It's going to be real interesting to see how it plays out.
in regard to this whole Braxton situation, fans are really split, and I find that, that's almost an understatement. You almost have, people on our message board right now on the front row message board are going at it. People are arguing, we're having to closely monitor the boards, and we're not board Nazis by any means. People are really getting fired up about this. You have some people that are, of course, very happy, and think Braxton not only deserves a shot but will be the guy. And you have other people that think that this is bad. This is good. If people going as far as saying bombastic things like, if he's the starting quarterback, Buckeyes don't have a chance of winning the national championship. So this is really dividing the fan base already. And we knew there'd be debate. Don't get me wrong. I'm not naive. I follow sports to a T. But this is getting really heated between Buckeye fans as I read our message boards. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think it's potentially a negative situation because Ohio State is going to go into the season and they play a tough opponent right off the start with Virginia Tech. Then they have to come back and play 5 days later against Hawaii at home. And not that Hawaii is a very good team by any means, but it'll be interesting to see how they handle those two games in particular right to start the season. And if somebody throws a pick or has a fumble or makes a misread or they had, whatever, costs them some points or something, there's going to be people saying, put the other guy in. And it can't be like that. You can't play this game looking over your shoulder waiting for the hook. It doesn't work like that. So, yeah, I think people just need to be patient, accept the fact that Urban Meyer is the best coach in America, and he's going to come up with a solution. And interested to see how Tim Beck, his first year at Ohio State, jumps into this, with both feet and see how he sorts through it. And Ed Warner, he'll throw his 2 cents in there as well. But to me, if Braxton's 100% healthy, I think he's one. And then the other two guys are 1A and 1B, and they can figure that out. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that that's where we're headed. But, man, getting from point A to point B is going to be a lot of fun.
And last thing real quick, congratulations to Wayne Davis, and congratulations to Ohio State for landing Wayne Davis. He becomes the 17th member of Ohio State's 2016 class. He is a corner from Virginia, so congratulations to Wayne Davis, the 17th member of Ohio State's 2016 class. Ohio State holding steady there at third in the 24/7 Sports Composite team recruiting rankings, and their average star ranking is very impressive. So, I think there's a good chance Ohio State could finish first. We'll see what happens, but it's definitely going to be another extremely good class for Urban Meyer and crew. Thanks to author Steve Helwagen. Again, buy his book. It's called Undisputed Champions, How Ohio State and Urban Meyer Won the First Ever College Football Playoff National Championship against 22-95. So buy Steve's book. And thanks for listening to the show. I hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend. Take it away, best damn band in the land.